So, as an aspiring comic, my personal pronouns are he. Good to see some close friends in the audience. And backseat, okay. And you guys are like really close. I came here last week to see the place, and we were sitting in the front row. In fact, these tables were not there. So it was like really close. At one point, I thought I was sitting on Azim Banatola's lap, right? And the second thought that came to my mind was, maybe Trevor Noah should have performed in this room. Right? No questions of audience not hearing. Right? Okay, so, but what is the funny part? Even this show was almost cancelled because I had a slight incident last weekend. They say drinking is injurious to health, right? Living proof. I was opening a bottle of beer and the beer cap flew and hit my eye. And I actually had a cornea damage. So up until 2 days ago, I was wearing an eye patch. And thankfully, it's fine now. I can look at the light. But imagine if I walked in today with an eye patch. Right? Maybe I would have just sat here and said nothing for like 30 minutes. And because of the injury, I couldn't play badminton. So I wrote in the badminton group saying that I've had an injury. And I just basically sent a picture of my face with the eye patch. I got one response. The guy said, oh, that looks bad. I hope it's not the eye. Before I begin, let me quickly wish all the ladies in the audience happy International Women's Day. This year, it's also known as Indian men trying to find out what is Cervical Cancer Day. Let's be honest. We men, as in we men, not women, had no clue about cervical cancer until Poonam Pandey played dead. No? Yes or no? When that news came out, my first thought was, how quick is this disease? Right? See, if she knew she had cancer, she would have used it for her publicity, which she's famous for. Right? You guys remember in 2011, she said she's going to strip completely if India won the World Cup? You guys remember that? You think Dhoni's that last six was the only reason why Indian men got excited that day? Rakhi Sawant, another legend, wanted some piece of this publicity. So she released an audio clip of her conversation with Poonam Pandey. At one point she said, "Arey, तूने मुझे क्यों नहीं बोला कि तुझे cervical cancer है?" Kind of cute, and she did survive the next day. The arguments around this whole fiasco was also interesting to hear. There was one section of people who said that, hey, it's okay, she crossed the boundary a little bit. But look at the bright side, right? A lot of men now know what cervical cancer is. Do you guys agree? I don't. Because 2 days later, Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles has cancer. A lot of men went, must be cervical. You know what was the tough part of writing that joke? In my head, I kept saying Prince Charles. Just couldn't say king. Anyway, a few days later, there was also another headline which said Poonam Pandey to be the face of government's cervical cancer awareness program. Some of the men who follow her were like, why face? Okay, you know what? I haven't started my set yet. This was just a test to find out how low I can go with my jokes. Thank you for confirming that it is just below the belt. I'm going to talk about Trevor Noah for a bit because I started with it. How many of you, unfortunate souls, tried going for a show in Bangalore? Yeah. Quite a few. Yes, we went there, correct. Here's why I was so disappointed, right? Now, this was happening in the tech capital of the country, in a tech park, possibly attended by a few hundred techies, right? And there was a technical glitch. People who were stuck in traffic and realized that they couldn't make it on time to the venue were selling their tickets on social media to folks who were ahead in traffic. That's how technically savvy we are. We couldn't get the damn audio working. Trevor himself came some 20 minutes late to the venue. Black Dog, which was one of the sponsors, had a big standee which said, "Savor the pause." Like they knew exactly what was going down. Right? So Trevor actually here came and spoke on stage for like 5 minutes. He tried to actually crack a joke, right? So he said, he was like, since people at the back can't hear me, I'll tell you guys the joke. You pass on the joke to the subsequent rows. That is the only joke that he cracked. Now, if you guys remember, 3 years ago, an Indian comic was arrested in Indore because the audience heard a joke that he did not crack. Which is why I feel like stand-up comedy is a joke in our country sometimes. Anyway, Trevor ended up roasting Bangalore in his Bombay shows. Here's what I really like about the guy, right? Whenever he travels to a new country, he tries to imbibe the culture. He really tries to become one of them, right? He came to India and became an Indian in an instant. Zero accountability. And he turned our tragedy into his comedy. As they say, humor is tragedy plus time. And that is my time for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.